Hey everyone, with only one episode left, and this ending can go in any direction, and then we got to see in the last episode those snippets of Zinnia and the original number 2 and number 9, and seeing basically the origins of their never-ending cycle, I wanted to look at how these cycles are breaking right now in this series. And with that, let's go ahead and talk about it. Alright, so I figured let's look at this from the beginning. I'll link not only my videos that have made references to this in the past, but a couple other videos as well that go into more deep dives on the lore of the origin of Project Yorha, and a lot of the information that I'm pulling you can find in the NieR Automata World Guide Volume 2, as well as a long story short, a short story long, and the novel Yorha Boys. With the lab Labo's creation and the creation of the black boxes in 11,928, the Army of Humanities proposed a next generation combat unit project and was transformed into the production of the new Yorha. On July 7th, in 11,937, the original number 9 model caused a massive fire at Labo, resulting in numerous casualties and loss of documents. As I talked about in my last video, the original number 2 model ended up having to kill the original number 9 to try to stop his plan. If you want to hear more about this, I'll put a link in the description to that video. Number 9 had even planned out his death by number 2 as well. And yes, we all see that creepy smile, number 9. He wanted to be killed by number 2. He also made sure that the model types were sent to the lunar base to be created again, in order to be recreated again and again and again, as well as dying over and over again. And as we all know it, it's part of their cycles. On December 8th, 11,941, the Pearl Harbor descent operation began, who we all know as A2's origin story. She was the next number 2 unit that was created after the original died in Labo. At least as far as I know from my research, this is what I found. So if you guys know otherwise, let me know. A quick summary on number 2, she was the lone survivor of that mission. That mission was meant to fail. There were not supposed to be any survivors. The Council of Humanity wanted to test the Yorha and how they would handle impossible scenarios. They purposely made it harder and harder for them to survive in order to create the perfect soldier, which I think is the first step in breaking these cycles, as well as breaking Project Yorha as a whole. Then going a little bit further down the timeline, January of 11,942, the 9S units were made available. Then a few months later, the production of Type E units were created to handle A2 as well as any other rogue androids. And then we get to March of 11,945, which is the beginning of the NieR Automata events that we know of today. Now, the side stories Memory Thorn and Memory Cage do not have any dates on them, but we can assume that some of them are before the opening of the game and the anime that we know today. And we saw some of these short stories play out in the anime from episode 13. Now, as we know, Yoko Taro and the creators love these philosophers. They named half their characters after a lot of these philosophers. They even reference Zhuangzi, which I hope I'm saying that right, and obviously Nietzsche. Zhuangzi believes that life is full of cycles. We have joy and sadness, life and death, and even light and darkness. And once we've accepted these, we will find contempt in life, which we see a lot of in the NieR Automata series. And the main one I want to get into is obviously number 9 and number 2. Since we saw episode 13, we saw how many times 2B or 2E has had to kill 9S over and over and over again. But here's an interesting thing I noticed. The next number 2 that was in line is A2, and she had already broken the cycle. When she defected from Yorha, she was no longer stuck in the same cycle or fate, if you want to call it that, of killing number 9, bringing us to the singularity that Akor talked about in her reports back in episode 17. It says, discussions is underway on the impact of A2's presence on another branch. We see in this anime different choices and influences that are impacting things differently for A2. Depending on what you're reading, initially in an interview with Yoko Taro, the memories that A2 got from 2B's sword was only what 2B wanted A2 to do to save the future and to protect 9S. At least initially. But as more lore comes out, we see that even in this anime, we see A2's learn that 2B was actually 2E, and that humanity is extinct. It seems like 2E knew this back in episode 15. The reason I think this could be a theory is because it was 2B's voice that was narrating this information in that episode. So not sure if she knew, or were they just using her as a narrator, not dismissing either of the possibilities. A2 was originally driven by the fact that she had one goal, to destroy all machine life forms. That was the promise she made to number 4 back then. She at this point has broken the cycle of also needing their quote-unquote god, or in the androids' view, the humans, and has found her own meaning in life, which was keeping her promise to her fallen comrades. You could argue that an enemy dying during the Pearl Harbor descent and Lily surviving is one of those factors that impacted her decisions in this anime. Now, in the lore that is out there, an enemy did not actually trust the Yorha for obvious reasons, and she was very cold and distant. In fact, in the short story Long, it is explained that an enemy couldn't like number 2 or number 4, whereas Lily grew fond of number 2 for saving her. Obviously, down the line, they became a family, and then we all cried together. If you think about this too, a lot of the cycles start all over again from the beginning when it comes to the characters of this game. A2 could not even be part of that cycle of starting all over again from the beginning. She does not have the luxury of having her memory sent back to the bunker and to get a new body. She just continues to break another cycle. But after A2 killed 2B, when 2B was infected, we see that influences and changes are made to A2's story as well. We see in episode 18 when she's injured, the machines in Pascal's village have to take care of her, or at least they try to. She's forced into the world of the machine life forms that aren't evil. Some of them are tired of fighting and just want to live in peace, which is forcing her to change her outlook on the world she saw, which then turns into changing her meaning in her life, as we saw in the next couple episodes. A2, we saw her in more of a position in the anime to try to protect the villagers as well, and we see her relationship grow with the machines. She at some point did really enjoy being around them, and her meaning changed from being destroyer to protector. 2B wanted to protect the future as well as 9S, while also on her own path becoming protector of the machines. Unfortunately, though, we do see other forces at work that still want to cause destruction and continue their own evolution, and we see Pascal's village is destroyed, as well as the resistance camp. And A2 is forced to make some difficult decisions and give Lily and even Devila a mercy kill, just like she did with 2B. Now, obviously, I cannot leave out 9S. It was pointed out back in episode 22, 2B had died in order to break the cycle of life and death for those two. Now, with 9S surviving, there is a chance for a new future. Because of the fact that 2B was killed by A2, that also broke the cycle that the original 9 set in motion. We see throughout this series he struggles to understand the meaning in things. He doesn't understand the meaning to laying down a flower on the grave. He doesn't understand the meaning in what these machines are doing. And now towards the end of the series, it seems like he doesn't really care. Now that he has confirmation that humanity is gone, what is the meaning to stopping the canon? Why does it matter? It almost seems like his only meaning and goal in life is to kill A2 and the machines. Since we do not have control as players, it raises the questions. What will A2 do? Will she kill 9S and give him a mercy kill like she did for Lily and Devila? This is a factor in how things could be different with this ending. What will 9S do? Will he be the one to break the cycle and kill A2, the last of the number 2 models? Will 2B's sacrifice give us a different ending, a potential future? It is interesting to look at it like this though too. This cycle of 2B and 9S started with the original models, and we're coming to a potential conclusion with number 9 and number 2. Just now it's with A2 and 9S. It may be a different personality number 2, but it is still full circle. We also have potential that Pod can interfere as well. I know right now the hype train is that Accord will make an appearance, which is also very possible and will be very interesting if she does. But I think this is the end of my rant and my late night thoughts I had on this. Let me know in the comments what you think. What are your guesses that A2 will do, or even what 9S will do in this final episode? Do you think Pod will interfere? Let me know. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.